Welcome to today's deep dive. We are unpacking a really fascinating piece of source material today from mormax.net.
It's a great piece.
It is. It's titled 7 Game-Changing Benefits of Integrating AI into Your Legal Practice. And, we all know the traditional architecture of the legal profession.
Towering stacks of paperwork.
Exactly. Towering stacks of paperwork, grueling manual research, and an industry that is entirely anchored by historical precedent.
Literally looking backward to make forward-facing decisions.
Yeah, for decades, the dominant model has been built on massive overhead, brute force manual labor, and, well, the sheer volume of human endurance. But today, we are looking at how that entire framework is being completely dismantled.
And reassembled. The central thesis of this Mormax piece, it completely reorients our baseline assumptions about legal tech.
How so?
Well, we are moving past that whole early hype cycle, and definitely past those persistent, kind of tired sci-fi tropes about robot lawyers taking over the courtroom.
Right, the whole dystopian AI judge scenario.
Exactly. The data from the source indicates something far more pragmatic, but honestly, equally disruptive. AI has matured into an indispensable co-counsel.
A co-counsel, I like that framing.
Yeah, it has crossed the threshold from just being a novel tech tool to a baseline competitive necessity. It's dictating the operational tempo for everyone, from boutique solo practitioners to massive multinational firms.
It's such a fascinating pivot.
Yeah.
You have a sector that is historically and famously resistant to rapid operational changes, now being forced to integrate bleeding-edge technology just to maintain market share.
And the implications here are structural. We're not simply talking about digitizing a filing cabinet here.
Or saving a junior associate a couple of hours of reading.
Right. The source argues this technology is fundamentally altering how legal strategy is formulated, how risk is calculated, and ultimately how law firms actually monetize their services.
It's so cool that an industry steeped in tradition is getting this massive technological upgrade. Okay, let's unpack this, because the first major theme our source dives into targets the absolute mountain of unstructured data that legal professionals wrestle with daily.
The first benefit.
Yeah. Benefit number 1 is lightning-fast legal research. We all know the traditional legacy database grind.
Spending hours parsing thick volumes.
Or fighting with those clunky search bars. I mean, it was a massive leap forward from the physical law library, sure, but it still heavily relied on Boolean constraints.
Exact keyword matching.
Exactly. If your search parameters were even slightly off, you could miss a totally critical precedent.
Because the limitation of a Boolean search is that it relies on syntax rather than semantics.
Right.
The source breaks down how AI platforms utilize advanced natural language processing, or NLP, to bridge that gap.
So the architecture of the search itself has changed.
Completely. An AI model doesn't just scan for the exact phrase, breach of contract. It understands the semantic relationship of your query.
He gets the context.
Yes. It grasps the underlying legal concept you are trying to explore, meaning it can pull highly relevant case law, even if the drafting judge used entirely different terminology.
And the scale is it's the differentiator here. The document notes these NLP-driven tools can ingest and analyze millions of statutes, case files, and jurisdictional rulings in literal seconds.
Instead of a paralegal spending 3 days compiling a list of potentially relevant links.
Right. The system delivers the most statistically relevant precedents and actually synthesizes complex multi-page rulings into digestible briefs. You are essentially establishing your foundational legal strategy before opposing counsel has even finished their preliminary database queries.
Which seamlessly transitions into the second benefit outlined in the source, tackling a phase of litigation that is notoriously resource-intensive.
Oh, streamlined document review and e-discovery.
Yes. In complex litigation or major due diligence, the sheer volume of discoverable material is staggering. We are talking about literal terabytes of corporate emails, internal memos, Slack messages.
We all hate tedious tasks. But the traditional approach to e-discovery often required armies of junior associates sitting in windowless rooms, manually flagging documents for privilege or relevance.
It is the definition of a brute force methodology.
And the cost to the client is astronomical, not to mention the work itself is famously mind-numbing.
The source highlights how modern firms are deploying predictive coding and technology-assisted review, or TAR, to bypass that exact bottleneck.
So how does TAR actually work in practice?
These algorithms are actively trained by senior attorneys on a small subset of documents. They teach the AI to recognize specific legal concepts, risk factors, or privileged communications.
And then it scales.
Exactly. Once the parameters are set, the AI scales that understanding across the entire data set. It instantly categorizes millions of files, isolating the high-risk anomalies and the highly relevant smoking guns.
What stands out to you when we look at the sheer processing power of TAR in these massive class action suits?
What's fascinating here is the human element the source emphasizes.
The human element.
Yeah. Yes, algorithmically sorting terabytes of data saves thousands of billable hours. But the deeper value is the drastic reduction in human fatigue.
Oh, that makes total sense.
Cognitive load is a massive liability in legal review. When an associate is reading their 4,000th email of the week, their attention wanes. They miss things.
By offloading the heavy lifting of the initial pass to an algorithm that doesn't suffer from decision fatigue, the AI significantly reduces the margin for human error.
Precisely.
That reduction of human error sets up the next major section of our deep dive perfectly. The source positions AI as the ultimate, indefatigable administrator and proofreader, bringing us to the third benefit risk mitigation.
The stakes here can be incredibly high.
Think about a massive commercial real estate transaction or a complex merger. You might have a meticulous, highly experienced attorney reviewing a 100-page contract, but if it's 2:00 a.m. the night before closing,
Even the sharpest legal mind is battling eye strain.
right, even the best will miss a misplaced comma or a conflicting clause. But AI doesn't get tired.
It doesn't. The vulnerability of the 2:00 a.m. review is practically an industry cliché, but the liability is very real. A conflicting indemnity clause hidden on page 80 can result in millions of dollars in litigation down the line.
So these contract analysis tools function as an automated second pair of eyes.
Yes, eyes that remain mathematically objective regardless of the hour. They instantly spot anomalies, missing clauses, undefined terms, and compliance risks.
And the system isn't just running a glorified spell check. The source details how these tools cross-reference defined terms across the entire document ecosystem.
That's a crucial point.
If you change a definition in the master agreement, the AI instantly flags every subsequent schedule or appendix where that change creates a compliance risk or logical inconsistency.
It creates a safety net against malpractice. Firms can ensure their work product is mathematically tight, which is a significant psychological relief for the attorneys.
Absolutely. And while AI is securing the complex contracts, it is also overhauling the low-complexity workload, which is the fourth benefit, the automation of routine tasks.
We've looked at the massive high-stakes research, but so much of a lawyer's day is consumed by boilerplate churn.
The mundane drafting. Standard non-disclosure agreements, routine trusts, engagement letters, basic estate planning documents.
The source outlines how dynamic questionnaire prompts allow attorneys to generate customized, highly accurate legal drafts in a fraction of the time.
You input the specific variables, and the AI formats the legally binding document based on the firm's pre-approved templates.
Furthermore, the automation extends deep into the administrative back office, timekeeping, invoicing, data entry,
The drudgery.
the operational friction that bogs down highly paid professionals. It's increasingly handled by automated systems.
For you listening, regardless of your industry, think about the cognitive bandwidth you lose to pure admin every week. When you eliminate the busy work, you don't just save time, you change the nature of the work you can take on.
Exactly. For a legal team, removing that friction means they can redirect their focus entirely toward high-value, strategic advisory roles.
And that redirection of energy fundamentally alters the dynamic between the lawyer and the client, leading to the fifth benefit discussed in the source, the enhanced client experience.
Because the expectations of the modern client have evolved rapidly.
Oh, for sure. We live in a fast-paced world. Whether it's a corporate general counsel or an individual seeking representation, clients expect rapid responses and total transparency.
The standard practice of waiting 48 hours for a partner to reply to an email with a basic status update is just no longer acceptable.
The source points to the integration of AI-powered chatbots, virtual assistants, and dynamic client portals.
These asynchronous touchpoints handle initial case intake, answer standard operational FAQs, and schedule consultations 24/7.
While AI-backed client portals provide automated case updates.
And the strategic value here goes beyond just modernizing a website. It's about manufacturing responsiveness without manufacturing burnout.
The AI serves as the front line of communication.
Building deep trust and client satisfaction. The client feels constantly informed and prioritized without the lawyer needing to be tethered to their phone around the clock.
It allows the firm to scale its client care. But as transformative as the operational and client-facing upgrades are, the application of this tech in actual courtroom strategy is entirely different.
It really is.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Benefit number 6 from the source predictive analytics for litigation strategy. This concept operates like Moneyball for the legal system.
The sports analytics analogy is highly accurate. Historically, litigation strategy relied heavily on anecdotal experience.
The gut feeling.
Right. A senior partner might advise a client to settle because their gut feeling is that a specific judge leans conservative on intellectual property disputes.
Predictive analytics replaces that anecdotal guesswork with hard statistical modeling.
The source breaks down how these tools ingest vast databases of historical court data, analyzing tens of thousands of past rulings, motion outcomes, and sentencing histories.
The AI crunches that data to calculate the actual statistical probability of a specific judge ruling in your favor, based on their past decisions.
It gets incredibly granular. The algorithm might reveal that a particular judge denies motions for summary judgment 82% of the time if they are filed on a Friday.
Wow.
Or that they consistently rule against the plaintiff in specific breach of contract disputes involving tech startups. You are no longer relying on intuition. You are strategizing around empirical behavioral patterns.
And the data modeling doesn't stop at the bench. These predictive tools identify trends in how opposing counsel litigates too.
An AI platform can map out a rival firm's litigation habits. Do they have a statistical tendency to drag out discovery to exhaust the plaintiff's capital?
Do they typically fold and offer a settlement on the courthouse steps? What is their average settlement amount in this exact jurisdiction?
Armed with those metrics, an attorney can sit down with a corporate client and present a data-backed risk assessment.
So attorneys can now use data to decide with unprecedented accuracy whether to settle or go to trial.
It transforms legal strategy from an art form based on human experience into a rigorous science based on data trends.
Which naturally brings us to the operational reality of all these upgrades. The final major section of our deep dive focuses on the bottom line. Benefit number 7 is increased profitability and cost effectiveness.
Because time is money.
Bringing it down to brass tacks. In the legal industry, inefficiency has historically been highly profitable. The traditional billable hour model actively rewards taking longer to do the work.
That is the paradox of legal tech. If you introduce an AI tool that reduces a 10-hour research task to 10 seconds, a firm relying strictly on the billable hour just cannibalized its own revenue.
But the source outlines how forward-thinking firms are leveraging this efficiency to operate with significantly leaner overhead. By drastically cutting the hours spent on research and admin, law firms can take on a substantially higher volume of cases.
Without increasing their physical footprint or their associate headcount.
No.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this efficiency is driving a massive industry shift away from the billable hour entirely.
Because AI allows a firm to predict its time, costs, and risk margins with such high fidelity.
They are now empowered to confidently offer alternative fee arrangements, or AFAs.
Like flat fees. Clients despise the open-ended nature of the billable hour. Corporate legal departments want predictability in their budgets.
By utilizing AI to arbitrage their own efficiency, law firms can offer flat, guaranteed fees for complex matters.
And the firm maintains or even increases its profit margins because the AI is doing the heavy lifting.
While the client gets absolute cost certainty. In a crowded market, the ability to offer a flat fee gives a firm a massive competitive edge against the traditional billable hour. They are monetizing their efficiency and their outcomes, rather than just monetizing their time.
So what does this all mean? When we synthesize these 7 game-changing benefits from the More Max piece, the ultimate conclusion is clear.
AI acts as an unparalleled co-counsel. It is not an adversary to the human lawyer. It is an exoskeleton.
It strips away the tedious, repetitive drudgery that has plagued the profession for a century. It removes the 2 a.m. contract panic, the endless document sorting, and the manual docket management.
And by eliminating the friction, it enables attorneys to return to the core of their profession.
What they do best.
Exactly. It frees up the cognitive bandwidth to synthesize nuanced arguments, empathize with clients, strategize creatively, and advocate with passion.
The source's verdict is unambiguous. The question is no longer if you should integrate AI, but how quickly. The firms that rapidly integrate these AI models are going to outpace and out-earn the firms that cling to traditional methodologies.
The baseline for competent legal representation is being permanently elevated. We're looking at a leaner, faster, and highly optimized future for the practice of law.
Let's briefly recap the journey we just took for you listening. We explored how AI acting as a co-counsel transforms everything. We went from tearing down the mountain of unstructured data with NLP research to seeing how predictive coding reduces human fatigue in e-discovery.
We discussed AI as the ultimate 2.0 AM proofreader, mitigating risk, and automating standard drafting and back-office administration.
We examined the shift toward a 247 enhanced client experience, and we dove into the Moneyball era of predictive litigation strategy.
All of this culminating in a restructured business model, driving profitability through flat fees and leaner operations.
It is a comprehensive overhaul of a traditional system.
It is, but as we process the implications of this technology, this raises an important question.
Yeah.
We spent time unpacking how predictive analytics can accurately forecast a specific judge's ruling based purely on their historical data points.
Right, the statistical probability based on past decisions.
If an AI model can do that with such high statistical precision, could these algorithms eventually uncover deep-seated, unconscious biases in the justice system that humans have overlooked for decades?
Oh, wow.
What happens when the AI knows the judge's tendencies better than the judge knows themselves?
That is a phenomenal, provocative concept to chew on, and a perfect place to leave it. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Keep exploring, keep questioning the evolving world around you, and we will catch you next time.